The rain's just started coming down. According to the weatherman, we're gonna now have about 3 days of some decent rain. Today is the first Adelaide Crows game. So pumped. You gonna watch the game with Dad tonight? Hey? Hey. That's the sound of the game. First game of the season. Gotta get dressed up. Now I'm ready to watch the Crows. So for those of you who don't know, and if you don't, you obviously haven't been watching my channel for very long, I am a massive Adelaide Crows fan. So the sport I'm talking about is AFL, or footy as they call it down in the south, and this is my weekly ritual now that the season's about to start. So this is the first Adelaide Crows game of the season, so obviously it's very important. Last season we went out in the grand finals, we played terribly, it was an absolutely shocking game. And so the big talk now is we're still one of the best teams in the competition, but can we get over that mental hurdle? So tonight is going to be a huge game. Super excited.
Little lick on the left eye there, so this will just give players a chance to take them. You can see when Mitch Brown did have the ball out here. It's opportunity for the Bombers.
Well, Crows lost. Don't really want to talk about it, so yeah, moving on. I've had this pile of stickers now for a while. It's been slowly accumulating. Andy Berkey, keep making cool stuff. Makers Hustle. Andrew Jones, he's down in Melbourne. Monoloco, thanks for the sticker. I did a bit of a sticker swap not too long ago. Mitch Makes, Adelaide Fair, Geek Smithing, Wood by Rights, and Jackman Works. So, I'm gonna start putting these up around the shop. It's weird, I've never really got into stickers. It's not that I don't think they're nice, it's just I don't find the look of them very attractive. But the whole community vibe within the maker community is so cool, and I've had all these people send me their stickers, and I see my stickers in other people's videos that I kind of feel bad if I don't do this, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like I want to support the community as much as it supported me, which is why I'm going to put these stickers up everywhere. So on my bandsaw, I've got Andy Berkey, Mitch Makes, the Geeksmithing podcast, Andrew Jones, Scott Turner, and Paul Jackman. Over here on my thicknesser, I've got Makers Hustle, James from Wood by Right, Adelaide Maker Fair. Over here I've got another Mitch Makes sticker, and Ty Moser from Monoloco Workshop. My chop saw, I've got the Geeksmithing sticker. That one fitted quite nicely. And over here on the jointer, another Makers Hustle and another Scott Turner sticker. These stickers have been sitting in my drawer for ages, and I've been feeling so bad because I haven't done anything with them. So it's a bit of a load off now, knowing that I've actually got them up, and they will be in my videos from now on.
I had a feeling this was going to be the case. What I've done is I've taken the downpipe off the roof and I've plugged it straight into that drainage pipe. So now that's a sealed system, and if the water ever backs up, it's going to come up that downpipe. That's working fantastically well, and you can see down in the pits, that's filling up with water.
It's been raining for quite a while since that last shot, so now you can really get a sense of how this is working. Let's first go up to the high spots, and you can see there's no pooling here almost whatsoever. There's that strip over there, and that's from the awnings dripping down, but there's no pooling here whatsoever. But if we come this side, we now have a very deep puddle of water. Well, I say very, I mean I didn't expect it to rise this high. So this is working as it should. You can see now how much water there is, and there's still a fair way to go before it goes into the neighbor's yard. So probably about there, that's the line. That it'll be, once it hits that, it'll overflow. But I'm able to capture a whole lot of the water in here, which I think is good enough. All right, I'm gonna run inside because I am getting absolutely annihilated by the mosquitoes out here. This is going to be the last time that I talk about this drainage thing, because I think it's been talked to death, and I'm pretty happy with where it is. So that's that. It's Tuesday morning today, and I released this video on Sunday night, and so far it's been pretty well received. People seem to obviously gravitate towards the fact that it's it's about my first child, which is really cool. Like, people have been sending a lot of love that way, which is rad. But overall, personally, I'm so happy with the way this one turned out. This for me is probably one of my more complicated projects. A lot of the stuff that I've been doing has been tables, which is a little bit of joinery on the legs, put on a top, and off you go. This was complicated, not so much in the build, but because of all the different parts that had to work together. It had to be able to rock, it had to be able to move, it had to be able to stop rocking. It had a fold down door, and those all had to work together and not interfere with each other. So I've said it so many times on the podcast already. The guys got me into SketchUp, into using SketchUp. And without SketchUp, I don't think I would have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to perceive everything right from the get-go. A couple of videos ago, there was a comment by Steve Collins, who asked, in relation to my neighbor's dog dying, what is the feeling up here generally with the people in regards to pets, and moreover what happens when a snake attacks a dog? Like, how do people treat their pets up here? And I thought it was a really interesting question, especially having come from Adelaide, where I think the pet culture is very different, very, very different. The first thing that I noticed when I moved up here was that there's a lot of guys with dogs in the back of their utes or wagons, if you're in America, in cages. And that's like a normal sight. Sometimes they're in cages, sometimes they're not, but they are on every single time I go out for a drive, I see a dog in the back of a ute. So I get the impression that up here there's a lot more working dogs. You aren't going to see a little fluffy rat in a handbag. That just doesn't exist up here. All of the dogs are medium to large, and they're all working dogs. Now, when I say that, it might come across in a bit of a negative way, like people up here treat their dogs as tools. But I also get the feeling that the people up here love their animals. Obviously not all of them. There was a story on the news last week about this arsehole was basically abusing his dog, and there's footage of him taking his dog by the collar and lifting it up into the air. This poor thing was petrified. It was all over the news, basically, him getting prosecuted, and the outcry of people here by how lenient his sentence was. Oh, that story just kills me. But yeah, so those assholes do exist. Those idiots are out there. But for the most part, people who are animal people here love their pets. But there is an expectation that they are going to be a little bit maybe harder than they would be in the city. So thinking about my neighbor next door, his dogs, they lived outside permanently. My dog lives inside, which is, it seems like she's very spoiled, but his dogs were permanently outside, and they were guard dogs. But he'd take a bullet for one of them any day. So Steve, to answer your question, there is definitely a different scenario up here. Dogs are tools, and they are more dog-like, if you will. But all the people that I've seen with pets, they love their animals up here. It's a different type of love that I'm used to, but it's definitely just as strong.